My best friend said she could never compete with me. Then stole my startup pitch, launched it with my ex, and called it empowerment. I stayed quiet until I trademarked the idea and took their investors. I used to think silence was safety. If I didn't rock the boat, it wouldn't flip. If I stayed quiet, things would pass. Turns out silence doesn't protect you. It just makes it easier for people to erase you. The morning it happened was like any other. I made coffee, checked my email, then LinkedIn. And there it was. A post with 238 likes, 59 comments, and one photo that made my whole body go cold. Thrilled to announce our new startup InvestiHer, a platform helping women build financial independence one smart decision at a time. 2 smiling faces, Chloe Rhodes and Liam Reed. Matching hoodies, co-founders, power couple, my best friend, and my ex. Launching my startup idea. As if it was theirs, I couldn't breathe. Chloe, who once said I barely understand ETFs, but I'll help with your branding. And Liam, who 5 months into our breakup texted, I'll always support your dream, even from the sidelines. Guess what, Liam? You're not on the sidelines anymore. You're center stage. With her, holding my blueprint, I scrolled. They didn't even bother changing the name. InvestiHer. The exact title from my deck. My market, my feature set, my mission. Word for word. Flashback a late night, my apartment. Chloe sitting across from me, legs tucked under her, holding my printed pitch deck. I'll take this home, she said. Want to read every page carefully. She smiled. I smiled. It felt like sisterhood, like trust. I had just quit my job at the agency. Burned out, disillusioned, but full of fire. I wanted to build something real, an app that helps women invest, even if they only had $50 to start. Liam thought it was too niche. Chloe said it's needed. She was my safe place, my constant. We survived high school bullies together, college drama, a pandemic. And now she's posting my dream with my ex-boyfriend, with hashtags like she built this. No, Chloe, she didn't, I did. I called her, no answer, called again, nothing. I texted, what the hell is this? She replied 4 hours later. I know you're mad, but I had to do what's right for me. You never filed copyright V. That was it. No apology, no acknowledgement, just justification. Like I'd left my idea on a park bench and she just picked it up. I didn't cry. I sat on the floor and stared at the wall. Chloe used to joke that I was the builder and she was the megaphone. Apparently the megaphone decided to take the bricks and build the house for herself. 3 days passed. I didn't shower, didn't eat anything that wasn't beige and microwavable. My mom called. I warned you about trusting people too fast. You always give away too much. Thanks, Mom. My sister Nina texted, I'm sorry. Want me to burn their house down emotionally? Sweet, awkward Nina, always quietly protective. I laughed for the first time. But the truth is, I was ready to give up. I stared at my laptop one night and hovered over the folder that said TrueVest Concept. Clicked delete, paused, didn't press it. Instead, I checked my email. There it was. Subject line Vanessa. We met briefly at FinFuture. Let's reconnect. It was from Sonia Chen, an angel investor I'd met once who asked a sharp question during Q&A and disappeared after. She wrote, I saw that InvestiHer launch. I recognized the language. Your deck stayed in my mind. If you want to talk next steps, I'm listening. I read that email 6 times. Not because I didn't believe her, because I didn't believe me anymore. But that one line woke me up. If you don't tell your story, someone else will sell it. That night, I opened the folder again. Renamed it. TrueVest. I made a list. File IP. Secure legal help. Build lean prototype. Pitch again. Breathe. This time, it wouldn't be about proving anyone wrong. This time, it would be about reclaiming what I lost. I'm not here to beg. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to build. They took my pitch. I'm building the platform. I thought silence kept me safe. But silence only made me disappear. Not anymore. I used to think silence was safety. If I didn't rock the boat, it wouldn't flip. If I stayed quiet, things would pass. Turns out silence doesn't protect you. It just makes it easier for people to erase you. After Sonia's email, I didn't jump up and suddenly become a warrior. I just sat there, letting the silence wrap around me like wet wool. Uncomfortable, heavy, familiar. That night I dreamed about Chloe. We were 17, sitting on the bleachers after school. She had just punched a guy who called me the calculator with lipstick. I had braces and split ends. She had a black eye and zero regrets. No one talks about my girl like that, she said. That was Chloe, my Chloe, bold, loud, loyal. So how did we get from that to this? It didn't happen overnight. It happened in small, forgettable moments that didn't feel dangerous at the time. Like when I first told her about the startup idea. You should absolutely do it, she said. But don't go all TED Talk on me. Or when I confided that I wasn't sure I could pull it off alone. Then don't, she replied. You've got me. I'm your unofficial CBO Chief Bestie Officer. I laughed. She winked. It felt like solidarity, and maybe back then it was. Liam came back into the picture around the same time. We'd broken up a year earlier, no screaming, no drama. Just two people growing apart in silence. I was building pitch decks at midnight. He was optimizing algorithms for fintech bros. Still, when he came back to New York, I agreed to coffee. Then another. Then a walk in Central Park that felt too easy, too familiar. He asked about my startup. I told him everything except for the pieces I hadn't even figured out yet. You've got vision, he said. You just need backing. I know people. I thought he meant introductions, not infiltration. One night, I invited both of them, Chloe and Liam, over to brainstorm. We ordered Thai, sat on the floor with sticky notes, talked about app names. Chloe suggested investing her as a joke. Too cheeky, she asked. A little, I said, laughing, but catchy. I remember writing it in my notebook. Page 17, underlined twice. They both saw it. Weeks later, Chloe took that notebook home. Accidentally, she said. I never got it back. There was another moment I buried deep, but now it claws its way out. A party, warm wine, loud music. I was in the kitchen. Chloe slid up beside me and asked if Liam and I ever, would it be weird? I stared at her, blinked, laughed it off. As long as you don't marry him or steal my app, I joked. She laughed too. But not all the way. Now I know why. After the LinkedIn post, I tried to put all this into words. For myself. I opened a new doc. Typed a list of things I lost to people I trusted. And the list grew fast. My idea, my name, my confidence, my network, my ability to say no, my ability to call bullshit when it wore a friend's face. I thought Chloe loved me like a sister, and Liam. Maybe part of me still hoped he'd cheer for me from afar. But here they were, not just together, building something using my bones as scaffolding. My mom didn't get it. Why don't you just start something new? It's not like they stole your diary. No, Mom, they didn't steal my diary. They stole the future I was trying to build with the most vulnerable parts of me. Then came the last straw. I heard through a friend that Chloe and Liam were about to pitch InvestiHer at a Women in Tech showcase, a stage I had once dreamed of standing on. They were pitching my value prop to an audience of female founders and VCs. I stared at my screen, fists clenched. My cheeks burned. Not with sadness, but with clarity. I had spent the past month grieving people who'd already moved on. What if I moved on too, but differently? Not by forgetting, by confronting. I searched legal forums, read horror stories, then posted my own. Anonymous. Charlie found me 2 days later. I don't usually respond to threads like this, he wrote. But yours? Yours pissed me off. He was a tech lawyer with rainbow glasses and zero tolerance for fraud. He called me. I told him everything. There was a pause. Then he said, "You've got a case and a chance. Let's make them regret thinking you'd stay quiet." That was the moment my breath came back. I thought silence kept me safe. But silence only made me disappear. And I was done disappearing. The thing about rebuilding, it doesn't start with glory. It starts with Google Docs and rage. After my first call with Charlie, I couldn't sleep. Not from anxiety, but from the buzz under my skin. Like something had finally shifted. I wasn't spiraling anymore. I was strategizing. Step 1. Lock it down. Charlie helped me file copyright for all my original pitch materials. The deck, the product mock-ups, the slogan, the roadmap. We'll make it watertight, he said. No judge in hell is siding with a couple who built a copy-paste Frankenstein. He wasn't just a lawyer. He was a sledgehammer and a skinny tie. He also made me register TrueVest as a trademark. We did it right this time. Not napkin notes, and I trust you energy. Actual IP, actual protection, actual lines in the sand. Step 2, build the damn thing. I couldn't afford a dev team, so I went back to my UX roots. Late nights, messy sketches, clunky prototypes on Figma. I didn't have marketing buzzwords or investor hype. What I had was clarity, a sharper version of the app I'd once imagined. The new TrueVest would be smarter, more accessible, and this time, personalized. I started developing an AI-based onboarding system for women to build custom investment plans based on lifestyle, not just risk score. My niche: women with no finance background, divorcees, single moms, women who never thought investing was for them. No pink-washed BS, no crypto shills, just power, quiet, steady power. Step 3, find allies. I reached out to every connection I'd ever made at fintech panels. Most didn't reply. Some ghosted after seeing InvestiHer already making waves. But then came Sonia Chen again. She hopped on a Zoom call, no makeup, sipping tea, like she didn't hold the power to write 500K checks. What you have now is better, she said. Cleaner, deeper, less gimmick, more grit. She agreed to precede me. It wasn't much, but it was enough to breathe. Sonia didn't just invest money. She sent intros, connected me to women who'd raised, failed, bounced back. One of them even offered to beta test my prototype with her local women's group. I was back in the game, quietly but deliberately. Meanwhile, I watched Chloe and Liam from the sidelines. Their launch was noisy, PR articles, glam headshots, a podcast interview where Chloe literally said, "It all started with a conversation over wine and a whiteboard." Oh, really? More like a stolen notebook and a friendship funeral. But I didn't clap back, didn't post subtweets, didn't leak receipts. Because I had something better: receipts with timestamps, emails, version history, shared docs. Charlie was archiving everything, preparing the paperwork. Then, it happened. I got word that InvestiHer was entering its pre-A round. Big money, big risk. That meant they'd be under investor scrutiny. And if Charlie filed the right IP notice at the right moment, well, let's just say no one likes investing in lawsuits. Charlie sent the cease and desist notice 2 days before their pitch meeting with a major VC fund. It was clean, brutal, beautiful. We cited multiple points of copyright violation, misuse of proprietary research, and even excerpts from Chloe's early text to me. My favorite line from Charlie's filing: "If this is innovation, I'm the Pope." I didn't hear from Chloe, not at first, but Liam? He tried. He emailed me, short, cold. "This is unnecessary, we can work something out." I didn't reply. Then came the call from their investors' legal team. They were re-evaluating investment pending resolution of IP concerns. A day later, Sonia forwarded me this: "Due to red flags raised during diligence, we have paused our participation in InvestiHer's funding round." 3 hours later, Sonia sent a second email. They asked if we'd consider backing TrueVest instead. I told them we already were. I didn't smile. I didn't pop champagne. I just sat there, breathing. I wasn't angry anymore. I was ready. Chloe finally called. Blocked number, late at night. I let it ring once, twice, then picked up. Her voice cracked. "Vanessa, you didn't have to do this." I stayed silent. "You're burning everything." Still silent. "Can we talk? Like, actually talk? Please?" I took a breath. "Chloe, I gave you every chance to talk. You chose a launch party instead." Silence. "You think I'm the villain," she whispered. "No," I said. "You're just someone who got used to me never fighting back." Then I hung up. I thought silence kept me safe. Now I know silence doesn't protect. Action does. And this was just the beginning. I thought it would feel big, explosive, dramatic, some Hollywood-style showdown. But when the moment came, it started quietly. Just a Zoom link, a calendar invite, subject IP resolution call, TrueVest, InvestiHer, investor legal. 1 room, 3 sides, 2 timelines colliding. I dressed simple, dark blue shirt, no makeup. Just the kind of version of myself that says I have nothing to hide. Charlie texted showtime. The waiting room opened. Chloe's name appeared first, then Liam, then the legal rep from their investor's side. Sonia was on two off-camera listening. No greetings, no fake smiles, just pixelated tension. The investor legal rep spoke first. "Thank you, everyone. Let's keep this professional and efficient. Our side wants to assess whether there's sufficient concern to halt current funding discussions with InvestiHer. Ms. Hart, you may begin." I leaned slightly forward, looked directly into the lens. "My name is Vanessa Hart. I'm the original creator of the product concept content and investment strategy now marketed under the name InvestiHer. I have documentation of this time-stamped, filed, and protected." Chloe scoffed, then jumped in. "With all due respect, this is a misunderstanding. Ideas aren't protected. Execution is." Charlie clicked share screen. A document popped up. This, he said, is an internal email from Chloe Rhodes to Liam Reed, sent 2 months before InvestiHer's launch. We watched the cursor hover over the key lines. "Vanessa's version has heart but no spine. I'll reshape it. She won't fight, she never does." Silence. Then Charlie dragged another file onto the screen. A PDF of the original pitch deck. Then screenshots from the InvestiHer website. The overlap unmistakable. Exact phrase, "Investing isn't just for the wealthy, it's for the ready," my phrase. Chloe's voice broke the silence. "That line wasn't hers. It's common phrasing," Charlie responded calmly. "We ran it through linguistic analysis. It appears in 0 search results prior to Vanessa's original proposal submission date." Liam stayed quiet, eyes fixed on some distant point outside the screen. I looked at him. "Say something," I said. He blinked. "We thought you'd moved on." "No," I replied. "You just hoped I would." The legal rep cleared his throat. "From our standpoint, this constitutes serious IP overlap. We'll need to pause all active negotiations and conduct a formal review." Chloe leaned closer to her camera, voice sharper now. "You're killing what could help women." "Over a sentence, no," I said. "Over a pattern, a theft, a betrayal." I kept my voice low, measured. "You didn't just take an idea. You took trust. You repackaged my voice as if it were yours. And you sold it." Her face flushed. Liam muted his mic. Coward. Charlie ended screen share. Sonia finally unmuted her voice even. "We believe in funding founders with integrity. That's our bottom line." She turned to me. "Vanessa, we'll increase your backing if you're willing to accelerate development." I nodded, then looked back at Chloe. "This didn't have to go public. You made that choice. You think you won?" she asked. Bitter? Small? "No," I said. "I think I reclaimed what was mine." The call ended. No goodbyes, just a digital severing. I closed my laptop, sat in silence. Then, for the first time in months, I smiled. Later that week, InvestiHer quietly pulled down their site. Their social feeds went dark, no official statement, just a digital disappearance. And me, I wasn't everywhere. I wasn't trending. I was just moving forward. People think confrontation is loud, but the loudest thing I ever did was refuse to stay silent. I thought silence kept me safe, but silence only made me disappear. Now silence is what they sit in, while I keep building. Winning felt quiet, no confetti, no victory music, no crowd roaring, just a notice filed, a platform pulled offline, and a long, deep breath that didn't taste like revenge, but something cleaner, lighter, freedom. 3 days after the Zoom call, InvestiHer vanished. No farewell post, no damage control, not even a tweet. Just silence. I didn't gloat, didn't post vague captions about protecting your dreams. I didn't need to. Because when you reclaim something real, you don't have to prove it out loud. But here's the part no one tells you about finally getting justice. It doesn't fix the parts of you that were hurt to begin with. It doesn't unbreak the trust, or undo the nights you doubted your worth, or bring back the version of you that existed before. That week I spent a lot of time in my apartment cleaning, like actually scrubbing corners I hadn't touched since the day I quit my job. Old papers, dead batteries, pitch drafts with coffee stains and panic scribbles. I found one note Chloe had written on a sticky a year ago. "You're going to be dangerous once you believe in yourself." Funny how right she was, just not in the way she hoped. Then something unexpected happened. My mom called, not to lecture, not to warn, just to say this. I read the article about that investment fund pulling out of that other company. Pause. I didn't know the full story. I didn't realize how much you'd built. Silence. Then you've always scared me a little, Vanessa. Not because you dreamed too big, but because you refused to shrink. My eyes burned. I didn't say anything right away. Just let her words settle, like fresh air in a room that hadn't been opened in years. And Nina, she showed up at my door with 2 iced coffees and a notebook. I want to intern, she said. I blinked. At TrueVest, no, she grinned. With TrueVest, I don't do coffee runs. She had redesigned the landing page overnight. Clean, bold, human. I asked her how she did it. I've been watching you for 5 years, she said. Turns out, some of it stuck. That same day, Sonia emailed me. You're on the short list to speak at the Women in Tech Summit next month. No pressure, but I think your story could wake people up. At first, I hesitated. I wasn't a founder with shiny success metrics or a perfect cap table. I was the girl who'd been betrayed, the woman who built again anyway. Then I realized that was the point. A week later, I stood backstage at the summit, microphone in hand, Nina fixing my collar, Mom in the front row. I took a deep breath, not to calm my nerves, but to remind myself I earned this air. I started my speech not with data, not with the app, but with this. They took my pitch. I built the platform. They married each other. I married my future. The crowd went still. Then came the applause, not explosive, but real. The kind of clapping that says we've been there, we get it, thank you. That night I got a message from an unknown number. Just a single line. I didn't know how to stop him. I was too far in. I stared at the screen. Chloe. I didn't reply. Not because I hated her, but because sometimes closure isn't conversation. It's choosing not to open the door again. Later, I sat on my balcony with a glass of wine and no more weight on my chest. I wasn't chasing approval anymore, wasn't waiting to be seen, because I saw myself. Finally, whole, clear, unapologetic. I thought silence kept me safe, but silence only made me disappear. Now my voice builds things, and it's just getting started. Legacy isn't always loud. It doesn't always come with statues or headlines or books named after you. Sometimes legacy is a quiet ripple, a shift. A room full of people who now believe something's possible because you dared to do it first. It's been a year, a full year since the Zoom call, since the legal win, since the silence between me and Chloe became permanent. I thought the anger would last longer, but it didn't. It faded like a bruise you stop noticing until one day it's just gone. TrueVest is alive, not a unicorn, not a billion-dollar behemoth. But it's real, it's functioning, and it's working. Last month, we crossed 50,000 active users, mostly women investing for the first time in their lives. A grandmother in Ohio who finally bought stock in the healthcare company her daughter works for. A divorcee in Manila who said, I just wanted to prove to myself I could do this without him. A single mom in Nairobi who built a college fund with nothing but weekly micro deposits. That's the metric I care about, not valuations. Validation. Nina's now head of community. She speaks at panels like she was born on a mic. And every time she opens a new support thread for a user, she signs it. From someone who once thought she'd never understand money welcome. Charlie's still with us now, formally on retainer. Still sarcastic, still brilliant. He calls me boss bitch in legal emails and refuses to use punctuation unless absolutely required by law. And my mom, she retired. Took up painting. Keeps trying to convince me to let her redesign the TrueVest logo in watercolor. She still doesn't totally get what I do. But she brags about me in her bridge club, like I cured cancer. That's enough. As for Chloe, last I heard she moved to Austin. Started some boutique brand consultancy. Liam didn't go with her. They never got married after all. Funny, isn't it? How the people who steal from you always think what they took is the whole treasure when really all they got was a draft. Sometimes I still think of her. Not with hate, with distance. Like a city I once lived in that no longer feels like home. She taught me what betrayal looks like, but also what survival does. And that's a strange kind of gratitude I'll never say out loud. Last week I was invited back to the Women in Tech Summit, not as a speaker, as the closing keynote. When they introduced me, they used words like trailblazer and resilient founder. I smiled, stepped on stage, and said, "You can call me resilient if you want. But I'm not here because I bounced back. I'm here because I refuse to disappear, After the talk, a young woman stopped me outside the hall, barely 20, nervous hands, big eyes. My co-founder took our idea, she whispered. I thought about quitting. I looked at her like someone once looked at me and said, "You don't need to win today. You just need to keep showing up and make sure they remember who had the idea first." She nodded, teary, and I knew right then that's legacy. I walk different now, not because I'm invincible, but because I'm rooted, because I've been shattered and rebuilt and chosen to stay soft anyway, because I don't need to burn bridges. I'm too busy building doors. I sit sometimes in my old chair, the one I nearly sold to pay rent that month, cup of tea in hand, laptop open, metrics stable, team growing, and I whisper to that version of me who almost quit. She took your pitch. He took your time. But you took your life back. I thought silence kept me safe. But silence only made me disappear. Now my voice moves, money builds futures, and gives other women permission to speak. They married each other. I married my future. And I'd choose it again. Every single time.